Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another Sneak 2 video, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a build for the Grandmaster this week. Now, this Grandmaster is quite special, especially this time, since it's the very first time we're seeing the Sunless strike be the Grandmaster, and also because the strike might be a bit bugged, since there's only one type of champion in the strike, that being Unstoppable. It says that there's supposed to be overloads and unstoppables, but there's no overloads anywhere, it is only unstoppables. So that's pretty much like the only champion that you really have to worry about. So that actually gives you tons of flexibility on the weapons that we can use. In today's build, we're going to be going all in on Strand with pretty much everything Strand has to offer. Unraveling, woven mail, suspension. We pretty much are using most of the Strand things on this build to essentially fill the battlefield with a bunch of green. That's going to give you lots of ad clear, lots of suspensions, and also a ton of orbs. This build easily can make like 100 plus orbs per GM run. So if you're looking for a fun build that's also very effective for this week's Grandmaster, then I think this one's gonna be the perfect one for you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, remember to like and subscribe to the channel in case you guys aren't already, as well as follow me on Twitch. We're gonna be doing some help runs for this Grandmaster, so if you guys need some help, go follow me on Twitch. So now let's get into it, and first let's talk about the exotics that are running on this build. Now for the exotic piece of armor, we're going to be on the Radiant Dance Machines. These things are still amazing in PvP, PvE, doesn't matter the activity you're doing, these things are going to be amazing. Every time that we get a kill with our primary weapon, we're going to be able to get some class ability energy back, as well as be able to overflow our class abilities. So we can actually stack up to 3 of them, just having them ready to go. So it's just going to make it so we can use our class ability a lot more often, which is going to let us suspend a bunch of things, and also make a ton of orbs. It is crazy the amount of orbs we're going to be making with suspension, and it just makes it possible because of just how often we can actually use it. Now for the exotic weapon, we want a good Strand primary, so we can keep getting kills, so we can keep getting ability energy, and what better choice than the Barrel Dyad. This thing is just fantastic right now, and if you got in the Catalyst, this is just an amazing weapon. As long as you have it on the Pad of Ambition, you're pretty much going to be good to go. This thing does tons of damage, it kills stats very quickly, and it's going to be constantly building up that class ability energy, so you can keep using it and keep suspending a bunch of targets. Now for your other weapons, I recommend that you go with a rocket sidearm in your energy slot. This is going to be your range weapon, so if something's a little bit too far away for your SMG, you can just shoot it with your rocket sidearm, especially in that Shrieker room. This is going to be like a really good weapon to take out the Shriekers. And for your heavy, I recommend that you go with a rocket. It can stun unstoppables, and it does some pretty good damage. But if you want to go with a different heavy, you can, since we are also going to be able to stop the unstoppables by suspending them. And since we're going to have suspend so often, it is something that we can use very easily. Now for our class, we're just going to be on regular pure Strand. I think this just kind of works the best. For your class ability, you want to go with Gambler's Dodge, so every time that we suspend some targets, we also get our melee ability back. This is going to be very useful, since our Threaded Spike is just such a good ability. It does a ton of damage, it bounces between enemies, and it also severs a bunch of targets, which is going to work really well into the mods, essentially just letting us have a ton of just free woven mail for us and also our teammates. So you want to spam your melee just as much as possible, and we're going to get it back as much as possible. So the Gambler's Dodge is just a very easy way of doing that. For your grenade, you don't really have to run a specific one, but I just really like running the grapple. I feel like the grapple works pretty well, especially with all the tangles that we're making. Allowing you to like grapple the tangles and use your grapple a lot more often. But if you want to go with the shackle grenade to get even more suspensions, then that's something that could work as well. I feel like both of these can work, but I definitely like the grapple a little bit better. Now for the aspects, the first one we're going to be running is the Whirlwind Maelstrom. We're going to be making a lot of Strand tangles, so every time that we destroy a tangle, it's going to spawn the tornado that's going to unravel targets, and it's just a really good ability. The tornado has to be like the strongest part of like the Strand kit on the Hunter. It does ad clear, it does some pretty good decent damage against some of the bigger enemies, and it also lasts for a very long time. And on top of that, you can also have multiple of them just constantly clearing ads, and the tornadoes themselves can spawn even more tangles that can make even more tornadoes. This ability is just so good, especially this season, because the tornado can pretty much increase its damage thanks to some of the mods. It is just a fantastic aspect, and no matter what you're doing, you can pretty much always use the tornadoes. So every time that you see a tangle, make sure that you throw it and you blow it up, so you can spawn a tornado and just start destroying everything. Now our second aspect is going to be the ensnaring slam, and this is what's going to allow us to suspend everything whenever we're in the air and we use our class ability. It lets us do a dive that basically suspends everything around wherever we land, and it's a pretty good radius. If you time it right as like some ats are spawning, you can pretty much just suspend whole groups of ats very easily with a single like ensnaring slam. And because we're going to be constantly getting our class ability back every time we get some primary kills, there's just something we can spam, and we can just constantly just keep suspending enemies, suspending champions, basically anything that gets close to us, we're going to be able to suspend them. And they're just a lot easier to deal with, especially big groups of enemies. When they're all suspended, you can just throw your melee in there and you see it bounce between so many enemies, and once you kill one of them, you can trigger a tornado, and while they're still just suspended, the tornado's gonna go off and just pretty much just kill all of them. Now for the fragments, the first one we're running is gonna be the Thread of Wisdom. Whenever we defeat some suspended targets, we create Orbs of Power. Since we're gonna be constantly suspending, this is gonna be really good, and we always are gonna be making some Orbs of Power, which is gonna be very nice for keeping ourselves alive, as well as getting a bunch of abilities back. Whenever we defeat suspended targets, we gain class ability energy, and this is gonna let us spam our slam even more. But if you feel like you already have enough energy, you could also change this one for something else. After that, we're gonna have the Thrill of Continuity. Whenever we suspend, unravel, or sever targets, the duration is increased. So the things just stay suspended for longer, and also our debuffs just last longer. This is gonna be really good, especially with all the things that we're suspending. And the final fragment that we're gonna have is gonna be the Thread of Isolation. Rapidly landing precision hits emits a severing blast from that target. So it just gives us another way of severing a bunch of targets, which will let us get some more woven mail for us and also our teammates. Now for the artifact, these are pretty much the ones that you want. You want Unstoppable Rocket Launcher, Bioweave, so we can not only use more tangles, but also sever with our tangles. You want Unraveling Rounds for a very easy way of getting Unraveling on your SMG, as well as being able to do some extra damage against Strand's debuff targets. And since we're always going to be putting debuffs like Sever or suspending targets, we're always going to be doing some more damage. You also want Elemental Siphon, so you can make some more tangles, and also every time you pick up a tangle, it also gives you a bit of extra super energy. Gold from Lead is also pretty good. Whenever you pick up some special, you can get some more heavy, so you can spam your heavy a little more. Horse Shuttle is also going to be really good. Whenever we unravel some targets, then we spawn Threadlings, and those Threadlings are also going to be able to sever targets. So this does a couple of different things. It kind of sets like a chain reaction off. You shoot a weapon with your Unraveling Rounds that unravels the target, you shoot it some more, it will spawn some Threadlings, those Threadlings will do some damage, and whatever they damage gets severed, and whenever the severed enemies die, they'll make the woven mail thing that just kind of constantly pulses and gives you and your teammates woven mail. So this mod here actually does a lot, and it's very easy to proc. Pretty much we're always going to be proccing this, and you're going to be seeing Threadlings just all over the place. Dreadful Finishers is also going to be really good. Every time that we finish a bigger enemy, it guarantees special for us as well as our teammates. And for the final column, we're going to have 2 Shreds as well as Limit Break. Limit Break is going to give our super a little bit extra damage, which is going to be pretty nice. And then 2 Shreds is what's going to give us all that woven mail for us as well as our teammates. Whenever we defeat some severed targets, it spawns that will Strand energy that constantly gives us woven mail. And this is whenever we defeat some severed targets, so if we defeat multiple of them, we can actually have multiple of these up at the same time. So it's something we can proc very easily and just constantly get woven mail used over and over again, improving our survivability. And the boosted version also gives a bit of extra damage to the unraveling projectiles, and since we're also going to be unraveling quite a lot, that's pretty good. And lastly, let's take a look at the mods that we have on the build. First of all, for your helmet, you want Heavy Ammo Finder, as well as Heavy Ammo Scout, so we can spam our heavy a lot more often, and also a Harmonic Siphon, so we can make some more orbs with our SMG. That's pretty much it. For the gauntlets, you want to go Heavy-Handed, Harmonic Loader, and also Impact Induction. We're going to be doing lots of melees, so every time we do some damage with our melee, we're going to reduce the cooldown on our grenade. Whenever we get some kills with our melees, we're going to make an orb, and also so we can reload our SMG a little faster. Since that's such a big thing about the SMG, we're just constantly going to be reloading it, so we just want to do it faster. For the chest piece, Void Resistance, Harmonic Resistance, and Concussive Dampener I think are the best. It is Void Threat, so you definitely want to have Void Resistance, and Concussive Dampener is always just nice to have. For your boots, you want to go with Absolution, as well as Recuperation and Better Already. We have 2 healing mods So whenever we pick up an orb, we get a burst of health as well as some health regen. And I feel like this works really well with Strand, since with Strand, while we do have a lot of damage resistance with the woven mail, we do not have a lot of ways to use regen health or get health very quickly, so this kind of helps with that. Especially with the amount of orbs we're going to be making for suspending targets, for getting kills with our melee, for getting kills with our weapon, that we're constantly just proccing these mods. And this is going to give us back just all our abilities every time that we pick up an orb. And lastly, for the class item, we're going to have Bomber, Powerful Attraction, and Reaper, so we can make more orbs with Reaper, so we can pick up all the orbs around whenever we use a class ability, and also so we can get a bit of our grenade back every time we use a class ability. All of the mods right here are basically based around the class ability, and since we're going to be using it so much, this is just something that we proc very often. And with that, that's actually going to be the end of the build, boys. Now you guys have pretty much everything to take this build into any GM, and just start suspending and spamming all your Strand abilities. Like always, there's going to be a dim link in the description below, as well as in the comments, in case you guys want to try out this build. And if you do end up trying it, make sure you guys come back here and just tell me what you thought about it. If you made any changes, if you liked the build, just give me some feedback on the build. Every time that you see a tango, you essentially want to make it into a tornado. The main three things you want to spam is your melee, your suspending, and also get as many tornadoes out there as possible. As long as you're doing that, you're basically just constantly going to be severing targets, which is going to make a lot of those Strand wells that constantly give you woven mail. So you're going to have a ton of woven mail throughout this whole process, while at the same time just constantly using your class ability to suspend targets. And while you're doing this, you're going to be making a ton of orbs, since every time you kill some suspended targets, you're going to be making orbs. Even just suspending one enemy and killing them will give you 2 orbs. So that's how many orbs you're going to be making, so you're going to be constantly healing and constantly getting your abilities back. As well as also getting some class ability energy for killing suspended targets, so you can spam suspend even more. You basically just want to have as much suspend as you can, so then you can spam even more suspend and just keep suspending targets till you get to the end of the strike. But I hope you guys enjoy the build, hopefully you guys like it and end up using it very effectively in this GM. If you guys liked it, make sure you guys leave a comment, subscribe to the channel in case you guys aren't already, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.